So, as the title says, I was not prepared to deal with guys that had different intentions, or AKA, you could say, playboys. You could say that. Yeah. I also make coffee. So yeah, let's start the video. So, growing up, I did not have much interaction with the boys. Yeah, I went to an all-girls school, an all-girls college, so I never really understood the mindset of such people. And I intellectually knew. I used to read books. I used to read Wattpad. I used to read all these things. Like, I was socially very aware, but I never, if you know what I mean, I never really had that sort of interaction with the boys. And like, I understood intellectually, but I never realized the gravity until I experienced it. So the thing is, when I started like my professional life, I started to go out, meet new people, became more social. So of course you meet with a lot of people and a lot of guys, and that's when my experience started of dealing with playboys. So thankfully I never dated anyone, no one. But yeah, I had quite a few interactions. So yes, here are the few things that no one had prepared me for, and I learned them while interacting with them. So the first thing was that the guys with different intentions, the first pattern that I noticed is that they're very different in person and on text. So when I first like interacted with someone and we had a good chat and everything was going super well and we just became friends, yeah. I wouldn't say friends, but yeah, we had a good communication. We would talk for like hours. And I had a very respectful outlook about them. Like, we built a rapport, so I had a very respectful, pure, intentioned look, like perspective. But they don't have the same about you. And when they came on text, yeah, when they texted me and we started talking on text, it was like chatting to a completely different person, yeah. So what I realized is that they talk very very fast, very flirty, but in a creepy way, very forward, and in a way that makes you feel like, am I talking to the same person, or is this, it's like they'll compliment you, they'll do stuff, but it just feels weird. It's like they all read the same book, kind of weird. And when I met with the first person and I interacted with them, it felt like, okay, maybe this person's personality is like that. But when I interacted with the second one and then the third one, I realized, okay, there is a pattern here. There is a very solid pattern here. And when I like look reels on Instagram and post, and that's when I realized I'm not the only one that feels this way or that thinks this way. I was so naive. I did not know that after 12 a.m. people just change. It's like they become a vampire. Because they talk so differently. Because there was this person that I interacted with during the day, and when that person texted at night, I was like, yeah, we're the same person. But it was like the phone is in someone else's hand. That's how different they become, like after 12. Because I was like, is the same, because I used to sometimes text with my classmates as well. Later I also studied in co-ed, so at that time, super respectful, super good. I did not have much interaction, but I was on good terms, talking terms, like. So at that time, like during that period when I used to sometimes text, we were all kids, super respectful, yeah. That was the only interaction I had with the guys, yeah. But college and everything, it was just all girls. Elementary was all girls as well. Only when middle school I was studying in co-ed, but still I never had interaction with them that much. I was not their type, no one's type. I did not have any male attention growing up. But they respected me and we were friends, good friends. Anyway, so fast forward. So this person that I was interacting with during the day, and after 12 it became a different person. And that person became so annoyed because I could not realize, like, why are you talking so differently, like what's up with you. And that person tried to make me understand. I was so naive, I did not understand it. It's only later that I searched up online and I knew that, okay, if if you're talking with a guy, like with the opposite gender, after 12 they become a different person. And yeah, it's just not good. Weird, because I thought like we are the same people no matter which time of the day you're talking me to. But it's like it's not the same for everyone. So that's the first thing I learned. Also, when I say that they are very different on text versus in person, I'm saying that that's the amount of guts they have. Like on text they have a lot of guts, but it's not that when in person they're not thinking those same thoughts. They are, but they are very subtle. And one thing that I immediately recognize in all of them is that they are very socially aware, but at the same time, you can see that they're socially aware, but at the same time, they will come into your personal space. So what I realize is that if someone is a very extroverted and a very touchy person, you don't give a shit about it because you know that's who they are. But when you see someone who has social awareness and knows how to like interact and knows what it means to respect someone's personal space, but you see them invading the space, that's when you get the hint. So I was so naive. At first I completely disregarded all my gut feelings. So I realized that that person had like come really into my personal space, and I felt like this weird thing. So I have a little tip now that I recognize the pattern after dealing with a few guys like that. If you find yourself, oh, you could say it could happen to girls as well that are super creepy, same thing, it's just people. So when you see someone, when you're sitting up with someone and you at the start are like expanded, like talking like this, and something happens and you shrink a little, like even just a little bit, because they're like too much here, just a little bit, just recognize there's something going on. It's just your it's just alarms start ringing here. So I ignored those alarms. So because I was like, maybe that's how this person is, but no, people are not like that. Especially guys that are socially aware are not like that, unless they are someone with different intentions. But if someone is like super extroverted, that's who they are, that's a different thing. mm. That also makes me remember one thing. So I feel like they all go by the same book, because at the start I was like, you know what, I used to make excuses for people and give them benefit of the doubt. That goes for both genders though. This is something that I used to do for both genders. But especially like guys like these, I was like, you know what, it's okay. Maybe that's who they are. Maybe people are different, because I don't like to like judge people and make opinions about them too fast. So I used to be like, okay, that's who they are. It's okay. It's okay that. It's okay this. But the thing is, uh, they kind of have you assessed. Okay, they know if you are someone that gives them a lot of benefit of the doubt, so your boundaries will keep getting tested. And there, until you don't know the patterns, you will never know that this is how, like, they all read the same book. You will feel like this person has a certain special qualities about them, and maybe that's who they are, but it's only later you realize they all read the same book. So a little example is that I met this dude on a plane, yeah, and he was like, I would say 15 years older than me. So we had a good chat on the plane, and he thought firstly I looked like his niece, yeah. But I thought he was like a good elder figure. So that's how I interacted with him. But I'm a very generally a very chatty person, but also like super respectful. So I don't like I in the whole conversation I never um did anything or say anything or do anything that'll make the other person feel like, oh, she's talking to me as a girl. No, I was talking as a human being. Yeah, and I also felt the same way from that person until like a few hours into our talk. So this person had, because this is the pattern that I noted, I after having to deal with a few other like these kind of people, so I could recognize the pattern pretty fast. So the thing was, during the whole ride on the plane, I was super chill, just talking like that, and had my shoulders expanded and carefree. But later, I started to feel like I was like having to contract a little bit, because like the knees at first were pointed like this. Later, it became pointed like this, if you know what I mean. So when your knees are like this, it just kind of touches your knee, and I just found myself contracting a little bit. It's very subtle, but yeah, the alarms start to go out. So I was like, okay, maybe just people get excited in talking, because this is the mind things that was going on in me. That's why what I'm telling you all of this, because your mind will also tell you all these things. No one had prepared me for this. The only thing mom would say to me was that, hey, just stay away from them, from boys. That's the only piece of advice I got from mom. So I had zero clue on how to navigate the real world. So me being me, I used to give benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. So that person then started to like, because I was seeing him as an elder figure. So that person like complimented on, I don't know what, on my nails. So I was like, yeah. I found that weird. It kind of stuck in my head. And we exchanged numbers. I was like, because there was also like a little bit of project going on. So I was like, yeah, it was a freelancing. I was like, he could be a potential freelance client. So we exchanged numbers, and I later messaged him for the project. But he was talking about everything except for the project. And during that talk, I realized that I was being polite, but you could say that they become very forward. And I was like, is this the same? Did I text the wrong person? Is this that same person? Because on the plane, like, the talk was super respectful. Yeah. Other than these two things, super respectful talk, super friendly, super nice, nothing shady stuff said. Okay. There was a few things. Oh, okay. Look at me realizing mid video. Another thing that I want to tell you, super importantly, yeah. Guys with different intentions, all of them, but I've noticed, not all of them, ones that I have interacted with, yeah, deal with you as how they are. They don't deal with you as how you are. It's just, yeah, it's something that, if you are someone that that is super respectful, super cultured, in a sense, super cultured, like, you do not welcome these things. Your talk is something like, your mind doesn't go there, and they could say that, but they want your mind to go there, on those things. They will test your boundary by saying something super suggestive just to test it. Yeah, I'm talking from experience here. So their mind will they will try to make your mind go to those places that you don't want to go, and mid-sentence, unrelated, or maybe they will try to make a relation out of it, doesn't matter, they will try to say something very suggestive, very explicit for the conversation, explicit for someone that they know will not appreciate that. But they have assessed you enough that they know you will give them either benefit of the doubt, or you might ignore it like you never heard it, or maybe just try to change the topic. So yeah, they will do this. Yeah, they will try to do this. And I was like, it used to, at the start, it used to catch me so off guard, like why did this thing happen here, like what is the reason of this thing coming on into the conversation and making it so awkward. But that's their whole thing. They want to make you comfortable with that type of topics coming in front of you, like in your discussion early on. Yeah, very early on. So this is another thing, and you might chalk it up to their personality. What I've experienced is that if someone saw you for who you really are, because all these guys that I talk to, I realize that they don't see me for me, because if they knew how I am, they would never say this. But because they're going by a book, or I don't know, whoever shitty person is advising them, that's why they're saying this. So they don't really see you. If there's any girl that's watching this video and dealing with a certain person that has different intentions, but you can't really catch on, is just that you having to kind of like compromise on your principles and compromise on who you are to give them space or give them grace, if you know what I mean. Yeah, because you wouldn't usually do these talks with people that you just met, or these jokes with people that you just met. You wouldn't do that if you are that kind of person. But with them, you just have to give them grace, because you don't want to make them feel bad, if you know what I mean. So this is another thing that I learned. And in my perspective, I thought each individual is different until I started to see a pattern. They will like kind of, I saw that I was not prepared to, the first time that I dealt with this, I was not prepared to clock them. I was not prepared for that, because as I told you, I was a very, you could say, very naive. Things that I used to say, oh, they're general stereotypes. But here's the thing, yeah, people with different intentions will not really tell you that they're people with different intentions. And even if they do tell you, because you haven't experienced that, you might see it as unique until it happens to you a few times, and then you start to see, oh, it's a fucking pattern here, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, they will compliment you early on in a very creepy way. At the start, it'd be like a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe on your height, maybe on your nails, maybe on your glasses. At the start, it's just like that, and then later on, suggestive things, or super in your space compliment. Oh, I want to spend time with you, I want to be in your company, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's just, and at the start, it's happening so fast, it's not welcomed. And you can see that they're socially aware, they are not tone deaf, they know what's happening. And when you see these kind of people acting like that, you just know they know what they're doing. Yeah, I used to think that they don't know what they were doing. That's a naivety on my part. They know what they're doing. I didn't know what they were doing. So yeah, it's just another thing. Yeah, that I learned. Super important to know for guys and girls both. You know, clocking different intentions is super important. Just telling you my experience. The reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I was not prepared for this. Yeah, so that means that I give so much benefit of the doubt that was not needed. Yeah, it came to a point where I was like, why? I was starting to get bitter. I was kind of starting to get really bitter, like, why am I having to experience like this? or being talked to like this, because I was not appreciating that, because of lack of boundaries, that they take advantage of lack of boundaries. So I was getting really bitter. So I was like, why is this happening? So I talked to a few people around me, and they were like, oh, because you are so extroverted, or because you are so chatty, or because you are so bubbly and giggly and shit, you don't have to be like that to the guys. But I was like, that's who I am. And some people were advising me to change myself, and that was the real challenge. Yeah, so if you are someone that's watching this video, and I was like, no, the problem is not me here. It's because, if someone sees you and thinks that you are weak or you lack boundaries, that's an issue. My personality was not an issue. My lack of boundaries were. My naivety was. My giving benefit of the doubt was. So I realized that these are the areas that I have to work on. Not that I will stop being myself, because every person that I met, I'm always myself. So, because this is the advice I see that most people give out. Oh, don't smile at someone, don't be nice to someone, don't be this, don't be that to someone. But it's not the solution, yeah? Because when you go out in the real world, you're gonna meet a lot of people, and a lot of them will take you differently based on how their intentions and their brought up. Yeah, some people might think you're dumb, some people might think you're easy, some people might think you're super kind and super homely. So everyone is different, and they will see you all from their lens. That's not who you are and what describes you as you. Instead of changing myself, I asked, like, what can I do to stop this from happening? Or what can I do to stop this early on, so that I don't have to suffer or waste my energy uselessly on people? Lack of boundaries. I had to define my boundaries. I had to see the faults in me that was making this happen. Have clear boundaries. I realized that my time is super important, and I keep my circle very close knit, very, very close knit. And I realized that they might have different intentions, and they need to fetch people that have the same intentions as them. I'm not one of them. So I cannot be spending my energy that I could use in other areas to be entertaining all this. So yeah, this is my experience in dealing with guys that had different intentions. If you first need to understand that where your naivety is coming from, and mine, of course, naivety came from my lack of inexperience, and also some stereotypes. I thought they will look different, they will walk different. No, they are just like your average Joe. Super respectful, super charming, super normal, super innocent. But it's like a whole different world when you interact with them, and when you see their text, it's like talking to a completely different person. It kind of feels like disrespectful, because they're super fast. They just want to talk to someone, and a part of me at the start used to feel like, what made you think that you could talk to me this way? But I'm like, you know what, it's just all sorts of people, and they might never it's nothing personal. They don't even look at you, they don't even see you, they just doing cookie cutter stuff. So if you feel like it's personal, no, it's not personal. That's just how everyone gets to interact with them. It's just, yeah, it's nothing personal. All I would say is that trust your gut feeling more. Guy or a girl, whoever is watching this, trust your gut feelings more. If there's anything you want to get out of this video, is that it does not matter if you had any prior experience with a guy or a girl, whatever whatever case it is. I would say trust your gut feeling more. All the experiences that I'm experiencing in life points me to this statement. Trust your gut feeling more, and look at things as how they are, not what you think how they should be or how they are. No, just see as how they are. So yep, this is something that I wanted to share today. And yep, love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.